Come in, take a seat and join us at the table for episode 1 of Famished, a Mr. and Mrs. podcast where we talk about memorable meals, their origins, why food is so great and more. I'm Mr. Walker-Todd and I'm joined by
Mrs. Walker-Todd.
And we're recording this in the midst of these strange times when we're all stuck at home, so we thought we'd kick the show off with takeaway. Ellie.
Yes.
What is takeaway for the uninitiated?
If you don't know what takeaway is, I feel like there's something wrong with you.
What's going on? Don't listen to the podcast. Go eat some takeaway.
Takeaway is basically where you buy some food that you don't intend to eat in their establishment and you're going to eat it somewhere else.
Yeah. Usually squirrel it away at home or at a friend's house, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It gets you through uni. It gets you through those long work days when you come home and you just can't be asked. It is the perfect remedy to so many things, I think. So many situations.
It certainly is. It originated in Pompeii.
Really?
Yeah.
RIP.
They had some...
That's some great ideas, just didn't last long. But hey, that's their enduring legacy is Pompeii.
Exactly. They had giant vats that they would sell food from, which I thought was pretty cool. When they were doing all their archaeological digging, they found all of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did they know it was takeaway food and not just bacon?
I don't know. They're really smart.
Hey, look, we're not archaeologists. I don't know. Science and stuff, right?
Yeah, so I thought that was pretty cool. I didn't really realise how old it was. And also, it then went on to be in Aztec marketplaces, mostly selling drinks.
I mean, my history's so bad. Did Pompeii happen before the Aztecs?
Oh my God, I don't know.
Okay. We're clearly highlighting our inability. We researched really well before
We
the
researched
show.
so well. We spent so much time researching.
Okay, so Pompeii, that empire, that civilization got wiped out, but enduring was takeaway. Then the Aztecs, they had food markets.
Yeah, but they sold stuff that was, you could eat it there and then.
Okay, so
lots of tamales, lots of drinks.
So kind of like street food.
Yeah, basically street food.
Which I guess has interwoven ties with takeaway in the modern sense.
And then it moved to America.
Of course.
Where there was a gazillion types of takeaway. And then, in the 20th century... fish and chips hit the scene here.
Oh, dang. In case you couldn't tell, we are British. So fish and chips is kind of our takeaway, our go-to.
And the hamburger came out in America at about the same time.
Oh, really? Right. So they are kind of like the foil to each other.
Yes.
Nice. Okay. What's your preferred takeaway?
Ooh.
Let's start with those two, actually. Hamburger or fish and chips?
100% fish and chips. I do not understand people who order a hamburger and chips.
We were having this conversation the other day.
Because I'm like... When it gets to you, is it not soggy?
No one wants a soggy burger.
A bit tepid.
Yeah.
I don't want that.
Nah.
That doesn't sound nice. Fish and chips, steaming hot, absolutely delicious. Although, there are some very specific conditions as to which you must eat fish and chips.
I think, are these specific to anyone who orders fish and chips or specific to you, my wife?
I hope it's anyone, because otherwise they're doing it wrong. But... ideally, you should be having fish and chips by the sea. Okay,
that makes sense.
And it needs to be on a slightly wintry day, but the sun is shining.
Which in the UK is most of the time anyway.
Yes.
So you're kind of good there. So
when you open your packet, steam lifts up. That's the best moment.
Okay, so you need to see the steam of fish and chips.
You need to see the steam.
Okay.
You also need to have a gherkin.
Okay.
You also need to have tartar sauce. And you also need to have the most ridiculous amount of vinegar and salt on your chips.
Yeah, I'm not okay with the vinegar. I can get bored with pretty much everything else, but the level of vinegar on chips is not... for me.
Well, I've realised it's a way to make you not eat my chips if I get fish and chips takeaway.
Is that why?
Just cover it in vinegar and then you don't eat it.
Did you not put vinegar on your chips until I came along and then you were like, it's the only way I can defend my chips?
Always okay. Vinegar.
Amazing.
But yeah, I don't know what my favourite takeaway is.
What period?
I don't know if it is fish and chips.
That's a big question. I think takeaway does vary massively by mood, by circumstances. Mood and circumstances. How are you feeling? If it is, as I was saying, you've had a long day and you just want to get home and I think the least fuss is probably high on the list of priorities.
Also, sometimes I look at how long it is until it's going to get to me.
I mean, massively, yeah. Yeah, we'll come on to this, but the takeaway game as well has changed tremendously, not just in these current times, but over the last few years, since the 90s.
I'm loving in the current times because it means you have a takeaway fairy that leaves things on your doorstep and rings the doorbell and runs away.
Yeah, the tooth fairy is really old school. Now it's all about the takeaway fairy.
It really is.
But yeah, I think maybe stuff like Chinese. If you're going for like the traditional takeaways were like fish and chips, pizza, Chinese, Indian, maybe Thai, which is a bit more kind of new age, I'd say. Of those 4 or 5, I think Chinese is probably the least fuss, depending on what you order. Like I'm picturing.
Yeah, but what's the most tasty?
Well, the taste is, again, it varies, because, like, sometimes you want a nice, dirty pizza. Sometimes you want delicious, Rogan Josh or something.
Okay, let's think about it this way. If you could only order one type of takeaway for the rest of your life, what would it be?
What would it be? One type of, like, just a cuisine?
Yeah.
Or then I think I'd have to go with, like, Indian food, because there's so much variety there. There's meat and veggie dishes. There's, all of the poppadoms and the naans, and there's so much variety in that collection of stuff. And yeah, absolutely incredible. So I think, if I had to choose one, it would be Indian cuisine. Second and closely, I think, by Chinese, because I do love certain Chinese dishes. But
you're a freak. You love Singapore noodles. It's the only thing you order. I don't understand. There's no variety.
Singapore noodles is all of the food in Chinese food in one dish.
I don't think that necessarily means it's good.
No, I think that's great.
I think it means it's not authentic and it's grotesque. Like, why are there so many bits of meat in there that don't go together? There's prawns, and then there's chicken, and then there's pork, and then there's
maybe beef. Yeah. No, and it's spicy, and it's so good.
And it's dry. Like, where's the sauce?
Like glass noodles. Oh man, magic.
Rank.
What's your favourite Chinese dish?
Ooh.
No sides, so you can't say prawn toast or prawn crackers or anything like that. Like your main dish.
Main dish? This is the thing, I don't think I have one. I mean, I love crispy chili beef. I love sweet and sour. If I'm going to get Chinese, I have to be in like a mood for something dirty.
Sure.
I don't want like, I don't know, steamed fish.
Can I just clarify?
Wrapped in a banana leaf.
Is there ever a mood when anyone goes, I fancy takeaway, like a lovely salad? Like no one...
People order salad as takeaway.
Okay, maybe now they do, but that was never the, like...
Who are you?
We're talking about the origins of Chinese, of takeaway, but the origins of, like, in our lifetime takeaway is so different to how takeaway is perceived now, I think.
It's quite funny because as a nation, we definitely argue between Chinese, Indian and fish and chips as the top 3.
They're like the trifecta. Yeah.
No one seems to be able to choose which is number 1.
Well, pizza. I mean, pizza's in there too.
Pizza's not in there.
Really?
No.
What, in the takeaway? Is it kind of seen differently? Like, what do you mean when you say that?
It's not featured in that top 3.
Wow.
It's not there.
Fish and chips is above pizza?
Yeah.
That's mind-blowing.
I don't think that is.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, fish and chips feels quite old school to me.
Although people do get upset because I think within the ranking, like hamburgers and sushi and stuff comes above pies. And obviously pie and mash originated in the UK. Mm-hmm. So I think people get a bit upset about that. So fish and chips wasn't... I think people get upset that fish and chips isn't number 1.
I think you're upset that it's not number 1.
I'm surprised.
Yeah.
But I do love Indian.
Yeah.
What's the best fish and chips you've had, though?
I just want to say the jingling you might be able to hear in the background isn't either of us. It's one of our cats, Brie, who has just decided to, as we're recording, of course, make herself present.
And of course, we have cats with
food names.
Food names.
Yeah, we have Brie, and then her younger but bigger, cuddlier brother is Cheddar.
The 2 cheeses.
The 2 cheeses. You can check them out on Instagram under the 2 cheeses. But yeah, they definitely are. If our credentials aren't enough, just in their own right of us just being food lovers, like we named our cats after food, and that came after a long list of like other names, which were all, I think I counted, we had like 45 pairs of names.
Yeah, all food related.
Which we'd put together.
Ages ago, we didn't own the cats.
Like
we were nowhere near owning
We'd been
the cats.
dating for like 2 years, I think. And yeah, we didn't have a house together or had never lived together or anything.
We just were making sure we were on the same page.
Yeah, and I think the food pairing names were pretty significant there.
Exactly.
It was a good indicator, I think, that we were on the same page. But yeah, so that was Brie. You might hear Cheddar jingle around at some point as well.
Side dishes. Do you order them?
Always. Pick a cuisine.
Chinese.
Prawn crackers, prawn toast.
I'm loving the prawn theme.
I mean,
crispy seaweed.
Nah, I don't know.
With that magic dust on it. What is that?
The dust is magic. I don't love the seaweed. Personal preference. No judgment, whoever does.
Fish and chips.
Fish and chips, aside the gherkin, you already mentioned it. That is a side.
That's true.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about pickled egg. I think that's a bit weird.
Pickled onion's quite popular as well. It's not
also,
my bag.
I heavily judge people who order fish cakes when you order fish and chips. It's not okay. Although, when I went to Tynemouth with one of my fabulous northern friends, she took me for fish and chips there, which was a whole other experience.
Why?
And we regularly argue about which is better.
Okay.
Because they get these like crispy bits, which is like all these bits of batter that have broken off that they then sprinkle on the top of your chips. Magic. There's curry sauce, which everybody knows.
Yeah.
But then they also serve stotty, which is a bread roll. Now, she found this hilarious. We were sat in a restaurant eating fish and chips, which I realise goes against everything that I just said.
You weren't in control of the situation.
I wasn't in control of the situation. And I watched, with my mouth wide open, this family proceed to eat their fish and chips with all of the regular sides and then a plate stacked high with buttered stotty bread. Now, this is basically like a bread roll. And I was very judgmental about it. And then my friend encouraged me to have one. And oh my goodness, it was brilliant. But I put chips in it because she told me that's what I was
So you made it a stotty chip butty.
Yeah, which you then have with your cod.
Or is it called a chip stotty? I'm not sure.
I mean, goodness knows.
Whatever.
It was just too much.
What is it? Is it like a scone? Like a scone? I don't know.
No, it's like a slightly chewier white bread roll that's particularly floury.
Okay.
It's nice.
Okay.
But that's a lot of carbs. I mean, it is the north.
It's the north. I mean, that's kind of like their signature thing in the cuisine.
But their stuff up there is bloody delicious in Tynemouth, and they do this amazing curry sauce that's just incredibly epic. It's like a proper curry sauce.
Yeah.
I tried to order curry sauce here. It was a bit green. I wasn't sure what was happening.
Right.
No.
I was surprised you actually brought up the Tynemouth fish and chips, because our main, I think, experience and one of your like the perfect examples of fish and chips that you showed me was in the Isle of Wight, which is right off the south coast of the UK.
They are winning at life. It's a different experience. So you go to the end of this beautiful pier on this little small cove, and they catch fish twice a day, and then they just do fish and chips with the fish that they catch. And then they have homemade variations of mayonnaise-y creamy dips. So they sometimes have tartar sauce, but sometimes it is like magic lemon mayonnaise.
Oh yes, very good.
The portions are a bit smaller, but the freshness is next level.
Well, I remember we went and then we had rock salmon, which is actually shark, I believe, or something.
So good.
But they literally, like, their fish and their chippy was over. It was like built into a pier. And the boat came in underneath the pier, and then they just haul the fish out the boat into the chippy, and it was like, so it was the freshest fish and chips ever, and it was good.
Side note, we will post details of all of these places, so that if you want to go, you can go check them out.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, we'll put them, I don't know, Twitter? Do we have a Twitter?
I don't know what we have.
We'll make a Twitter, if we don't have one already. Fish and chips, I think we have covered our love for fish and chips is definitely...
You don't even like fish.
I don't like fish that much, but I will appreciate a decent fish and chips.
Yeah.
And you know I will. Like, and that one in the Isle of Wight does stick out in my mind because it was so delicious. And we had onion rings as well, which were pretty good. Yeah. I think, had you been in the sea?
Yeah. I mean, if you can have a swim as well.
A swim in the cold sea.
You're winning at life.
And then you wrap a towel around you, and then you order some fish and chips, and they're steaming in the cold, and you eat them on the beach.
Yeah. And maybe you have a Mars bar. I don't know. So specific. Childhood
so
memory.
Specific. I don't think this is just how all Brits eat it, by the way. If you're not British, this is just how my wife eats fish and chips and requests that it is served. What's your earliest memory of pizza?
Earliest memory of pizza?
If you can think of one. Or has pizza always been? It is a forever and a constant in your life.
I was not a massive lover of pizza when I was younger. I've definitely grown to like it a lot more now. My most earliest memory is making pizza with my mum.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Nice. Do you know what you made? What toppings?
Various vegetables, and we'd put some passata on the base, and some mozzarella,
hand stretched dough base.
Maybe some salami.
You didn't buy a pizza base, you made the base as well.
Yeah. My mum was all about making from scratch.
That's commendable.
In fact, we never really got takeaway, which I think is why I probably love takeaway so much now, because I felt slightly deprived as a child.
I mean, I've always seen it as a treat. I feel like
for sure.
As a kid, I associate it with like sleepovers and stuff. Like I don't think we ever really ordered it on the regular.
It's not that cheap.
It's not that cheap, no.
And yet the nation like most households will order takeaway once a week.
Once a week?
Yeah, once a week.
That is high. Wow. But weirdly, I think maybe because of like the movies I watched as a kid or whatever, like Pizza Hut, the old like 90s Pizza Hut stuff, like
true.
Marketing.
And Friends.
And Friends, did they always have pizza?
Oh my god, Joey eats pizza 24/7, and then they always get Chinese takeaway in those magic boxes, which we don't get here.
Yeah, they're like
it's
nice,
so
like tall boxes with
but
a pop
those
opening.
boxes were actually invented in America anyway.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
I think they just made it cool and trendy.
Yeah, they did for sure. But yeah, I think in terms of ordering takeaway pizza, the Crown, at least in the UK, and I'd say it's probably true in the US too, has moved. Like I think Pizza Hut was the go-to.
Who holds the crown now?
I personally think Domino's holds the crown.
I'm pretty sure they do.
Some people vie for Papa John's, but nah.
I've never had one.
They're fine.
Isn't it deep dish?
I think they do deep dish. I'm not sure if they're all deep dish.
But Domino's, oh my god.
But it's the dip, right?
It's the dip.
It's the dip. It's the
dip.
chive and whatever dip.
I mean, who knows what is in that? Because
garlic and herb.
It doesn't taste like a chive.
It doesn't taste like whatever it says it is, but it is magic. I don't even know,
does it taste like garlic?
No, but it just tastes magic.
Yeah.
And oh boy.
And the one dip that you get with the pizza is never enough.
Yeah.
You need to get the extra large.
Well, I didn't realise when I think like not last time, but like one of the times we ordered Domino's recently, it was the first time I'd ordered the special additional dip. And I thought it was just going to be another one of the accessories that they put in the lid. But it was like 5 times the size. It was like a vat, and we still finished it. Yeah. It was horrendous, but wonderful. There's also a difference with you talking about making pizza versus ordering pizza. I think that massively affects what goes on it. Not just because of what you can afford or what you've bought, but the preference of the flavouring. So, like, much to your own disdain, I love, like, a meaty takeaway pizza with, like, all of the meats. Kind of like Singapore noodles, just all the meats.
It's so upsetting. There's no, like, one coherent, delicious selection of flavours. It's like all of these flavours just mushed into one.
Oh, no, that's so good. You pick them all out as you're nibbling away. It's amazing.
No.
But then, we made pizza the other day, and I was all down for a full veggie setup. And we did, like, what did we do? We did a caramelised onion and buffalo mozzarella pizza.
With truffle oil and mushrooms.
It's so bougie. And then we did it was cheddar with mozzarella, cheddar with peppers.
Yeah.
Was there any other veg? Shallots.
Shallots, that was nice.
And then dollops of green pesto.
Oh, yeah.
That was so good.
But there is something also about ordering, like, an artisanal pizza.
That's a new thing, I think. That's what I'm saying. Like, with the face of takeaway has changed. Like, the state of the...
We will definitely do a shout out to our favourite artisanal pizza place from Box Park.
Oh, yeah. Box Park in Croydon. I think it's called Aranciana or something like that.
We'll put a link.
We'll put a link somewhere. Yeah. I like when you get the takeaway places now that do the kind of rectangular pizzas.
Yeah.
I dig that.
Actually, other memory as a child of pizza is the only takeaway that my mum would ever entertain.
Which was what?
Was fancy as fuck pizza from, what's it called, Fereza?
Oh, yeah, the chain.
It's humongous.
Isn't it like order by the meter or something?
Yeah, ridiculous.
Yeah.
Considering she is a woman who does not eat vast quantities, it never made any sense. But I think it was just because she was like, this is a very nice takeaway.
It's a very nice takeaway.
Yeah.
What were you getting? I'm guessing not just pepperoni.
Pizza with egg on.
Oh, egg on a pizza is...
With, like, spinach and goat's cheese.
I think egg on a pizza is the new pineapple on a pizza. Like, I think it's, like, a bit of a divisive thing. Like,
yeah.
How do you feel about pineapple on a pizza?
Not good.
Never?
No.
Not even with ham?
No.
Fair enough. I'm right there with you. Just testing. And then egg on a pizza, yay or nay? I guess yay.
100% yay.
Like, you were on board with your mum's decision to have egg on a pizza.
Yeah, although she'd never really order anything particularly meaty. Not that I love your level, but like some pepperoni or parma ham or something.
Well, it upsets me that you just want a pepperoni pizza. Like, it's a classic topping.
I want to taste the delicious pepperoni. I don't want some beef and some chicken in my mouth at the same time.
Yum, 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 yum. Just please. But yeah, pepperoni is good too. But I don't know why pepperoni makes me want a stuffed crust as well. All of these as well.
I never liked stuffed crust. It was never gooey. Like
No, it was like
I basically
chewy, stretchy.
Wanted cheese fondue inside a crust of
that
pizza,
is not
and
what
it's
stuffed
not
crust
what
is.
it is.
No.
It's very disappointing. I remember my godmother actually when I was a child, she heated up some stuffed crust pizzas and they were disgusting because she hadn't heated them enough, so the cheese in the crust was just solid.
Yeah, I've had that.
No.
We should also add, being food lovers, we are respectful that Italian pizza, actually from Italy, is a completely different beast, and I'm sure we'll do an episode on that separately down the line. But
we regularly say to each other how upset we are that we've not been to Italy together.
Yeah, we've both been to Italy, and I maintain that the best pizza I ever had was there.
Yeah, same, in Rome.
Right, and I had mine in Florence, but yeah.
Again, with the Rome one, I can give you the link, because the amount of my mates who have gone, I'm going to Rome, do you have any recommendations for food places? I've been like, yes,
this one.
Here and here and here and here.
Yeah. It was just all food.
Yeah.
A lot of our holidays are all food.
Yeah, we create food Google Maps lists.
Yeah, I've now shared them with friends who have been like, I'm going here, I'll just show you my list of restaurants.
Yeah.
Okay, fish and chips, pizza. We have kind of talked about Chinese as well.
Indian.
Go!
This is a tough one.
Okay.
You having Indian family members and having some Indian heritage yourself, and me having lived in India for a while, I am very fussy about Indian food. And so...
You say this, I know the one thing. As long as it's got an egg in it.
Egg curry is the best, but
Egg
no
curry,
one seems to be
you're
able to make it here except for his auntie, so...
Yeah, true.
I've given up on that. But Indian takeaway, I mean, Fetchum Tandoori, which is near your parents' house, that's magic.
Yeah, very good.
Very good Indian
Guess
food.
where that is?
Huh?
Don't worry.
Yeah, basically, if you order a korma from an Indian place and it's got some sort of desiccated coconut in it and it tastes sweet,
you've gone wrong.
You've gone wrong.
Yeah. Agreed.
Any kind of like lamb dish is always heavenly.
I don't like it too fatty.
Yeah, fair. You also don't like meat on the bone, but traditional curries,
It's not I don't like meat on the bone. I'm just completely inept at severing meat from the bone to the point where I feel like I'm like Edward Scissorhands and I just can't like manipulate
It's
anything.
incredibly entertaining to watch.
Yeah, I am the 30-year-old man with inability to cleave meat from bone. I have to just have either boneless or genuinely ask you to do...
I know, it's brilliant. I just watch him for a bit and then I go...
You watch me suffer.
Do you want me to cut it for you? And sometimes you do give in and you're like, yes, please.
I think
sometimes you're like determined.
Most of the time.
Yeah. You just won't pick it up and eat it with your hands. I don't understand. Anyway. Yeah, and also Indian takeaway is all about the sides.
Yeah, and not just the sides, but the sauces. I think that's particularly important. Like
very true.
The mango chutney. The raita.
Although mango chutney is not meant to actually be eaten with curry. It's meant to be eaten at the end of your meal with poppadoms. Almost like, I guess, a palate cleanser. Also, the mango chutney you get in India, it's like full-on strips of slightly dried mango that's kind of a bit chewy. So you kind of suck the sauce off of it and then you chew the mango and you eat your poppadoms with it. And it's
amazing.
Heaven.
Sounds incredible.
Yeah, it's all about the sauces. It's all about the bhajis.
Yeah.
Or pakora, whichever you want to call it.
I mean, bhajis, for me...
I'm virtually sure it's the same thing.
I picture pakoras that are kind of flatter. Almost like rostis, but made...
It is literally onion in batter.
I know it's the same kind of ingredients, but the form, I'd actually prefer the balls, onion bhaji, like the spheres of...
Fair.
Like sliced
and
onion
if you can get a
jalebi
jalebi for the end, you know, the twirly whirly sweets.
Yeah, I've seen them making them. It's amazing. They squeeze it out into like boiling oil.
Yeah.
And it becomes like a Catherine wheel sort of shape, a spiral of this sweet, golden, crunchy,
gloriousness,
sticky thing.
It's basically pure sugar.
Yeah, like a lot of Indian sweets. I'm not a big fan of jalebis and the like, but I appreciate them. And the craft that goes into making them. And
it's all about the breads. Although I must say, I'm not a naan fan.
I love a good plain naan, actually. If it's like cooked right and it's got a nice char to it, because you're going to dip it in all sorts of fun sauces.
Why haven't you put garlic on that?
Oh yeah, but hold on. The benefit is that you can it becomes increasingly complex. A vessel, yes. A vessel for sauces and also you can dip and mop up your curry on your plate.
True.
Amazing. But also the fact that there is a garlic naan. I like a keema naan and a peshwari naan. You know, the one with the coconut inside, one with the meat inside. Bits. I really like those. Not everyone does, but I really dig those.
For me, it's all about paratha or paratha, however you like to say it. It's basically like a flatbread kind of puff pastry magic situation, and you just tear it, and it's like having a form of Indian croissant with your curry, and it is so good.
It's not something that I think you get as readily in takeaway Indian, but what is that?
I know it's a good Indian if they have it on the menu,
Oh,
but
really?
if it turns up and it's like a chapati, failure. Never order from them
Failure.
again. Failure.
What's the stuff though with the chickpeas and the tamarind and yogurt? That dish.
Puri.
Is that puri?
Yes.
Love puri. Don't feel it's a staple of takeaway Indian.
No,
More
got
Indian restaurant.
Yeah, a good Indian restaurant.
Yeah.
Dal, you've got to have dal.
Yeah.
It's just a staple. It must go with
Plain
curry
dal
and rice.
or like a spice dal or what?
I mean, they're all different, and every place has a different style.
So what are the like 3 staple things you order in an Indian takeaway? If you can think of 3.
Onion bhajis,
Yeah.
a curry,
Mm-hmm.
a dal.
Mm-hmm.
I realise I'm going to go over 3, and paratha, if they have it.
Which curry though? I think you have.
Usually lamb.
Yeah, I know you try a lot of different
Like
things.
a
but you
lamb
have
boona or jalfrezi or madras.
Yeah.
Those are like the more common ones. But I do tend to look at the chef specials. And if they've got something
yeah.
I've not heard of and I read the description, I think that tastes good, then I'll order it.
Yeah. I've moved away from kormas. I think because
Yeah.
I've had too many bad kormas.
When I was younger, it was all about a korma, whereas now I'm like...
It's a good entry level curry because it's 0 spice and it's like 0 risk and it's still delicious and it's like,
Zero risk.
you know, certain people we know can't handle any spice and that. Yeah. I think nowadays I love a tandoori, which is I know is an odd one because it's dry, but I love tandoori. Like I like the char on the
With
naan.
raita.
Yeah, with raita. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, a nice kind of beautifully charred tandoori chicken. Perfect.
It's a lighter version of an Indian takeaway if you order that with like rice and a raita and some sort of dal or something. By the way, for those of you who don't know, raita is basically like yogurt and cucumber mixed together.
Yeah, kind of like what's the Greek equivalent? There's like
Tzatziki.
yeah, kind of like tzatziki but Indian.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've covered fish and chips, pizza, Chinese, and Indian. Is there anything else we need to cover in this conversation about takeaway that the people need to know about?
The people. What do the people need to know about? No, I don't think so. I think maybe you and I need to take away the fact that we need to try a burger and chips takeaway.
We're both a bit wary of that.
Deliveroo, that's their number 1 dish that they deliver. Shockingly from Byron. Of all the burger places you could order takeaway, I don't think that would be the first. But we'll talk about burgers in another episode.
Yeah. I guess we should briefly talk about the fact that obviously with the global pandemic and the current state of affairs, with society being locked in, the shift in
business is booming.
Business is booming for takeaway, yeah, for sure. Do you have are you brand loyal to Deliveroo, Uber Eats, Just Eat, or any of the other ones in the UK?
Absolutely not. However, I do think that the sort of smaller places, the more like one-offs rather than massive chains, also feature on Deliveroo, whereas they don't on others.
Yeah.
But Deliveroo does also have like your massive chains like Wagamama's, Pizza Express, which are hugely popular.
Yeah. By the way, we're not sponsored by anyone to mention their names. We just
No. I just was fascinated because Pizza Express and Wagamama's are like their top ordered from.
Really?
I know.
I would order from places that I don't readily want to travel to or are just not accessible to me.
Exactly. What are you ordering from Wagamama's that's a takeaway? I would only ever order noodle soup in there.
Funny enough, we've talked about 4 main cuisines of takeaway.
Oh my goodness, we haven't covered
miso. And I'm not talking about the dish specifically. I'm talking about a particular restaurant. It's technically a chain, but there's only like 3 of them, all in like kind of the south of London. It was our favourite go-to takeaway place in Croydon, and it was the Kronks, and it was taken from us.
I think we need to just have a moment of silence to mourn the loss of miso,
which is great podcasting.
Shh.
Okay, that's too much silence for a podcast. But yeah, Japanese takeaway. Which is not a thing that people really think of, I think.
But it was so comforting. Like, you and I would be absolutely knackered after a full week of work, and
this is what we would go to.
We would message each other, are you on your way home or whatever, and then it was either can you pick up miso on your way home or shall we get a miso tonight, and we would pretty much order the same thing every single time.
Because what was it was, let's say, like wonton soup effectively.
Well, you had wonton, I'd have chicken.
But it was like a broth with like a noodle base. And then I'd have wontons, which usually had prawn in, or maybe pork, I think. Or I think it was a mix, and then the chicken one was just
so comforting. It always arrived with prawn crackers and some sweet chili sauce.
It wasn't super flavoured. It wasn't like a punchy flavour.
No,
it's very delicate, but it was really as you say, comforting. Proper. I think was the thing it was for. It felt more traditional as well because it wasn't full of like ridiculous like over seasoning or anything like that.
Wagamama's is ridiculous.
I love Wagamama's. It has
but try and find that dish in the country that it originates from. It's not there. Nothing tastes like it.
It's fusion.
Okay, sure. You will soon learn that Todd is very much into fusion, and I'm probably much more of a traditionalist.
You're
about
definitely
food.
A traditionalist, period. But I respect for miso and Japanese takeaway. It's the unsung hero of the takeaway world, I'd say.
Miso, we're really upset that you've left us.
Yeah, please come back to us.
Please. You've been replaced by Mexican.
Oh yeah, Tex-Mex.
No.
Controversial. I mean, to be fair, we haven't given it a go. We should probably try it out, but I'm still caught up by the fact that miso's left us. Skeptical humming. Takeaway. Done. Covered. Reach out to us on social and tell us what you think is the best takeaway and why. That would be interesting to find out. What people
would
think.
be. Let us know.
And
all the links to everything we've talked about, if it's specific places to eat, etc., will be
in the episode description or on Twitter or somewhere.
Insta. You can follow us.
Famished Family on Instagram.
Where we will also do other posts.
So the Instagram's already live, despite this being episode 1. We've already posted a few things of places we've dined in the past. And what the show really, we're hoping it to become once the lockdown is lifted and everyone kind of can return to normal, is that it's sort of like a half restaurant review where we just tell you about the amazing stuff that we've had at a certain place because we like to eat out when we can and we can afford it. And then also a bit of background on maybe the restaurant or the dish or the ingredient that makes that so special. Obviously, takeaway was an obvious one to kick off with because everyone's stuck at home. And I think
100%.
So hopefully you enjoyed listening. We enjoyed making this for you, cooking this up for episode 1. But please tune in. I think we're going to do the show every 2 weeks is the approximate aim right now.
Let's hope so.
Join us for episode 2 very soon. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Stay safe.
Stay safe. Look after yourself.
Stay healthy.
Yeah, that too. Don't eat too much takeaway.
Don't go within 2 meters of people.
Yeah, that too. True. Very helpful. People seem to be forgetting that right now.
Yeah.
I've been Mr. Walker Todd.
And I've been Mrs. Walker Todd. Thanks for joining us at the Famished table, and don't forget, always leave room for more.